Welcome to X-Rated.
Season 3!
And we're back.
Yeah.
The stakes have never been higher.
I'm Ryan Whedon.
I'm Matt Fisher.
And we'll be your hosts on this journey.
It took us 21 episodes, but we finally started one out introducing ourselves.
I think I'm going to make that a goal for this season, is to always start with an intro of some sort.
High aspirations.
I'm going to allow myself 2 mess-ups. 3 strikes, I'm fired.
So out of 10 episodes,
I know.
You give yourself 8 chances to get it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feels doable.
All right. Well, stakes have never been higher.
Yeah, I mean, my job's on the line here.
Yeah, I'll just hire someone to replace you in no time flat. I got a stack of cover letters and resumes just piling up at the front door.
Yeah.
I have Jennifer Coolidge in here to replace you.
I saw you also have that talking dog that says, "Arr-row-row."
At first I was like, Wishbone?
Oh God, Wishbone's in there? I can't compete with that.
Oh yeah, we got the whole talking dog pantheon. You know, McGruff.
Jeez.
That dog from Adventure Time.
Jake?
Yes! All just clamoring to younger generation nipping at your heels.
God, can you imagine if Joe DiMaggio was on the show?
Jumpin Joe DiMaggio?
Isn't that his name? The guy who voices, Bender and Jake?
I mean, Joe DiMaggio is a baseball player.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the ghost of Joe DiMaggio. That would be a real strange episode.
It's like Patrick Stewart being in Roadhouse.
Yeah. I guess we could have him on if we did, Field of Dreams or something. That would make sense, right?
Joe DiMaggio. Oh.
Dead baseball players.
Yeah. We'll never do Field of Dreams, though.
Yeah. What is that movie about? I don't know if I've ever actually seen it. Other than, Kevin Costner carves out a cornfield to make a baseball diamond.
Yeah, if you make it, they will come.
The ghost.
I don't know who... Yeah, one, I think, is, the ghost of his dad that he had a tumultuous relationship with.
Okay.
And so, making this...
This is a real flimsy
sports
plot.
something will be, a way to, connect through the generation. I don't know.
I think I saw something on the internet recently where a dad was like, "Son, I'm going to show you a movie that's really important. I'm going to show you Field of Dreams." And he puts it in, and the boy leans up really close to the TV, and you can tell that he's has his sexual awakening seeing Kevin Costner.
Ugh, really?
Look, I mean,
those tight...
His taste is questionable. But it's just cute.
It was like when I watched the NSYNC video for Bye 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 for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting in my room as a 12-year-old being like, I hope this doesn't awaken something in me. And it's awake.
There it is. That explains why you... Ramen. Asked me to wear that ramen wig that one time. Mystery solved! Just call me Jessica Fletcher.
Yeah, good job there, Veronica Mars. You're a regular McGruff the crime dog.
Yeah, maybe
you got the chops.
Yeah, maybe I could go toe-to-toe with McGruff. After all.
Toe-to-toe with McGruff is the name of my autobiography.
I would read it.
Yeah.
Are you ghostwriting it? Or you have someone in mind to ghostwrite it?
The ghost of Joe DiMaggio.
Oh! A literal ghostwriter. Wow. Wasn't that a show on PBS as well?
Yeah, it was like a purple dot.
For 30 minutes, just...
Well, it spelled stuff.
That's
and
right.
gave clues to solving mysteries in a school or something.
That's right.
But it essentially looked like the flash from when your picture's taken. Should we start a podcast where we review every episode of Ghost Rider?
Shh. These ideas aren't free.
all 30 episodes.
Yes.
And then when we're done, we'll review Ghost Rider, the 2 movies.
Yeah.
See if there's any parallels or connections.
I'll bet we can sell this to someone. There's got to be an audience for that, right?
Followed by Roman Polanski's Ghost Writer.
Yeah, indeed. And then we could watch Ghost Dad, and go
Rider.
Ghost, guys. Let's put those on the idea board. After this long break that we've just had.
Yeah, it was good. Very refreshing.
Probably had a lot of chance to watch something in that time.
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie Green Room?
Tell me a little bit more.
With Patrick Swayze.
No.
I mean Stewart.
No, but I heard about it.
It was Anton Yelchin's last movie.
That's right, yeah.
They're like a fledgling rock band on a burnout tour.
That's right.
Like, things are going awry. And they end up taking a gig at this skinhead venue.
Right.
And while they're there, they see something, unsavory go down.
Uh-huh.
And the owner of the venue, played by Patrick Stewart, does not want any witnesses.
I see.
So they're sort of held up in the green room, the titular green room.
Right.
While, stuff transpires.
I've heard it's a horror movie, and I've heard it's a suspense movie.
It's definitely closer to suspense, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, some of the violence gets pretty grisly, but it's not like jump out and...
Right. There's no gore or like...
There's gore.
Or there's no fantasy element or anything like that?
No, there's nothing like that.
Okay.
It's just, a bunch of white nationalist skinheads, and then like a hardcore band that plays a, gig there.
Yeah.
What I liked about it, though, is that the violence was used, I don't want to say sparingly, because there was a lot of violence, but it was used very effectively. Like, it wasn't just like a constant onslaught. Like, It was... I mean, I don't think anything really violent happens until you're, like, at least 30 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
And everything else, like, outside of that is just sort of build up, but...
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice.
I liked it. What about you? Did you see anything?
I did, and I'm debating whether or not I should tell you because I'm probably going to make you watch it for the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm going to wait. I wanted to hear about that weird looking mermaid movie that you saw.
Oh, The Lure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't exactly the most plot-heavy movie you've ever seen, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're... I mean, they're mermaids, but they're sort of more sirens, I guess. And yeah, they can take the form of a human until they get wet, and then they kind of turn fishy again.
Okay.
But it's not like they're trying to disguise themselves. Like, everyone kind of knows. Like, that's part of the lure. That's, like, part of their appeal is that they, like, turn into fish. Human. But it also... The soundtrack to it is, like, you couldn't have tailor-made a soundtrack more up my alley. Like, lo-fi electro dance with flinty female vocalists. Like, that's just my jam.
You're on it.
Yeah. So the soundtrack itself, was like very like, lo-fi, new wave, early 80s type stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it's Polish?
Yeah. Polish new wave musical. Well, do you want to introduce our film this week?
I do.
All right.
I do. I'm pretty excited about this movie. It's Big Fan from 2009.
Would you say you are a big fan?
You could. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this movie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's directed by Roger Siegel.
Sure.
Did I say that right? Not the NPR broadcaster. He's a screenwriter and used to be the editor-in-chief of The Onion.
Oh.
Before he did this movie. Yeah. And it stars Patton Oswald, bravely deciding to play an appliance that blows air around. Need to deal with the wizard. Wait. No, that's not the movie. I'm thinking of something else. No, he's a parking lot attendant.
Yeah.
On Staten Island, and he loves the New York Giants.
Yes.
It's like his life.
Yes.
It's the one thing that keeps him going.
I was gonna say, like, it's quite literally his life. He's got nothing. Like, he doesn't like his job.
Yeah.
He uses his job because it gives him downtime to think of things to say on the radio about the Giants.
He listens to radio shows about the Giants, and then
regular call-in.
Thinks of things to call in and write and say to them.
Yeah. His life pretty much revolves around the New York Giants.
Yeah. I want to start this movie where the movie starts. I think the opening shot is great. It's like, it's of him in his little booth, and but like, I don't know, 4/5 of the screen is just the roof of the parking garage.
Okay.
And so it's just like he's got this huge weight above him. It's almost like it's really uneven, and it's like uncomfortable too, because it feels like there's so much space above him, and he's just this small character.
They do a good job because, Patton Oswalt is Rubenesque, and sometimes, like, when you watch his, like, stand-up specials, you don't get how tiny a person he actually is.
Yeah.
Whether that's, by design or accident, I don't know, but... And, the movie did a good job of actually making him look kind of small.
Yeah.
That, in comparison to other adults, he's just very short in stature, tiny. So... And
his character is little.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a small life, but he's not unhappy with it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone keeps trying to get him to get a job or get married or move out of his mom's apartment. That one is kind of like, well, maybe you should do that. But he's just sort of like, no, I'm fine I like this.
Yeah, he has this sort of stunted masculinity to him, like what's the other term? Arrested Development.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
Where it kind of seems like he's stuck being like 13, 14.
Yeah. He still has posters up of
the quarterback.
Yeah, or whatever his name was.
The quarterback's initials were QB.
Or no, he was on the defense. He's like I don't know football very well, but his name is Quantrell Bishop, so that's like QB.
Yeah.
So he's on the defensive side.
Oh, okay. We don't know sports.
But that speaks to how good this movie is, because we can still like it even though there's sports-based.
Well, there's very little sports in it. Even the sports talk is kept at a minimum.
Mm-hmm. It's more just like you could hang this story kind of on a lot of things, but like he's hanging on this framework of sports, because it just shows like...
Well, sports is one of the few things that we allow people to really get obsessive about.
Yeah.
If you got this obsessive about, like, a car brand, like, people would think you're insane.
Yeah.
But when you get this obsessive about a sports team, you're just deemed a big fan.
Yeah. I think it kind of speaks to, like, there's a collectiveness to it, and, like, they do it in here, and I've noticed people do it when they talk about sports, their sports team. They say, we are doing this. We're going to kill you next week, it's like, you're not actually...
They're going to do it. You're just going to sit there.
Yeah. Or, like, the Seahawks have the 12th man, which is the fan.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody, who cares?
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of like you're either on board with this movie or not before the first title sequence. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I think a lot of this movie hinges on whether or not you empathize with Patton Oswalt or not.
Okay.
And if you think he's a petty, gross person or just sad human being in that first sequence, you're not going to like him for the rest of the movie. Like you have to be on board in those first 5 minutes, or you're just not going to like it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think you'd still like the movie even if you don't like him, because he's sort of like an obnoxious little turd, throughout the whole movie. And, I think what makes... he's cheerful, at least in that first half. Like, he seems very happy, even when they're at, like, the world's saddest tailgates.
Yeah.
Like, they're
loving it.
Yeah, they're loving it. And even at the end, they're like, and if we're out there in the parking lot, there's no way they can lose.
Yeah.
They just have, the little TV in, like, the back of, like, a station wagon.
Yeah. It's funny, too, how they set that up, because he makes you think that, like, oh, yeah, they're going to go into the game.
Yeah, I've seen this movie before, but even I thought, like, oh, maybe parking attendant's not so bad, like, of a job, because he can afford to go to all these games. And then we get there, I'm like, oh, he's not.
He has to tailgate.
And, not even a glamorous tailgate. Like, it is a sad, sad little tailgate.
Yeah, yeah. Because they were showing shots of other tailgaters really living it up with, like, grills and pizza and shit like that. Yeah. They did not have any of that. I like the title sequence going into that, like, with them driving to the game.
Okay.
I don't live in New York or around there, but I imagine, because, like, he shows a lot of, like, road signs that they're passing. Mm-hmm. I imagine if you live in Staten Island or you know exactly what that is. So,
sure.
Like, that's kind of like an exciting feeling to see those signs probably as you're going in to go to the game.
Yeah, I mean, Staten Island's, the working class portion of, New York City.
Yeah.
And, driving into Manhattan's, the most densely populated, burb in the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if you're going into Manhattan from anywhere in New York, there's got to be a little sense of excitement. Just because, I mean, outside of Manhattan, or, the greater New York City area, I mean, New York isn't really known for its other big cities.
Yeah, that's true.
Upstate New York's got, like, nothing.
Buffalo.
Albany.
Yonkers. But, so he's living his sad little life to most people, I guess. I mean, he kind of flips the script when he's at his nephew's 7-year birthday.
You mean the 7-year-old with the 50-cent get rich or die trying cake?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such a perfect image to have on that birthday cake, though, because it's like...
It really kind of says something about these people's values.
Yeah.
Well, because then, the brother, or the dad of the birthday boy, is sort of sleazy. Like, he's definitely...
Yeah. He's a lawyer.
He's one of those, like, ambulance chasers.
Personal injury. And they have a great bad lawyer, or bad local ad. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good for a fake bad ad.
We've got the experience you need to get the cash you deserve.
Thanks, Bellman, Fiero, and Paul.
It wasn't Vern Fonk bad, but it was closing in on it.
It was pretty good. But he flips the script when he's talking with his sister, because her husband is trying to get him a job at his Costco knockoff company. Yeah. And then she's like, you should take the job, it'll be great. And he's like, okay, well, what if I offered you a job? Like, what if I feel sorry for you working in your depressing dentist's office? And she's like...
How is a dentist's office depressing?
But see, I felt like he didn't flip the script, like he was trying to turn the tables on her, and it fell flat. To me, I thought, like, he came up short, and that just kind of highlighted, like, his insecurities about it.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Because, it's like, even though he's a skeezy lawyer, he's still a lawyer. That's and then, there's nothing wrong with working as a, receptionist in a dentist's office. You're not the one drilling children's teeth.
I guess that's true. But I guess I just feel like he's naturally defensive of it. With maybe some good reason.
I mean, I'll be the first to say, like, you shouldn't want just, like, what people tell you should want. Mm-hmm. But I felt like he should have wanted a little bit more out of life. Like, still living with his mother.
Who does his laundry. Yeah,
as we find out later.
Yeah. He's my age in this movie. He's 36.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is like, that is way too long to be living with your mom.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the implication is that he never didn't live.
Yeah. That's the only part of the whole, like, characterization of him that I found really sad.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like if you're a parking attendant and you're fine because you've always got football, and you're happy, and like you're not hurting anybody, go for it.
Yeah, I guess it'd be one thing if he had like a bigger friend base around it too, but it's just him and like the other dude.
Yeah.
Kevin Corrigan, I think his name is.
Goon from Buffalo 66 or Rocky, depending on how you want to think about it.
I was thinking that he was Ray Liotta's brother who was in a wheelchair in Goodfellas.
Oh right, yeah. I was looking because I wanted to see what else he was in. Said he was in Exorcist 3. He's the altar boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he's just one of those guests in that dream sequence.
Oh, probably.
So,
call back.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one thing if he had like a big social network. Like if he was rich socially, like that'd be a lot different. But he's not. He's got like one friend who sort of enables him.
Yeah, and a talk show that he calls into.
Yeah, and that's like the extent of his social life.
Yeah, and his mom, I guess. But
yeah,
that's the part that like
their tenuous relationship.
Ugh. That's the one part of it that I was like, that's really sad. He needs to move out, or at least like start doing his own laundry,
or at least like maybe move to a room that's not directly next to hers. Because he makes these late night calls, and wakes her up
every time.
And you know, if I was the mom, I'd be yelling at him to shut up too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seemed like the house must have been like where he was raised ostensibly.
Yeah.
He's got siblings. There's got to be another bedroom.
Oh yeah, good point.
Or I would think there'd be another bedroom.
One would hope, unless the mom moved to a smaller place. But one night.
Yeah.
Sees his the object of his fanaticism.
Yeah.
Quantrell Bishop.
Yeah.
And on Staten Island, and he and his friend, whose name I didn't get, follow them.
Yes, he's at a gas station.
Yeah.
And they hop in their car and follow him into Manhattan.
Yeah, where there's just no parking.
So one thing that I liked about this movie is that listening to it by itself would almost be a different movie than watching it and listening to it. So near the beginning, you know, when it shows him, you know, writing his stuff in the parking garage as he's, you know, taking tolls and things like that, and then he calls in, you know, a little bit later. If you were just listening to it, you wouldn't quite grasp how much he's rehearsing his seemingly impromptu remarks.
Yeah. And he lies about it to his friend. He's just like, oh, I just say that.
And the only cues that he's lying are the visual cues.
Right.
Like, it's never explicitly, like, stated that he writes them out ahead of time. It's just, you see him write them out ahead of time.
Yeah, good point.
Like, you kind of hear him mumbling a little bit, like, a phrase here and there, but it's sort of important to see that he's writing down the full script and reading off of it while making the calls.
Right.
And then saying that he just called in and made it up. And while they're driving to Manhattan, there's a scene where, and I think it really sort of highlights the type of like character that he is. As they're going in, he looks at the clock in his car on the dashboard and he goes, "Man, it's a little late to be like starting things." And it's 10:45.
Yeah.
Like Friday night, 10:45 Manhattan. Like that's
early.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like if you were just listening to it and you heard him say, "Oh, it's late to get started," you know, you would read into it, "Oh, it must be like 1 or 2 or something like that." But it says something about Patton Oswalt's character that 10:45 on a Friday night is late.
Yeah.
To go out and hit the clubs.
And something about the director giving us a visual cue instead of, it's like, show us, don't tell us. This is a visual medium.
But those two, like, they're contrasting things. Like, if you're just listening to it, you would think certain things, but when you listen and watch it, you get contrary ideas about this character.
Yeah. And that's funny because he's always calling at like 1 a.m. So like he stays up late.
Yeah.
But just doesn't leave the house, I guess.
Yeah, he just stays in. I mean, I think he probably just stays in and waits for like the radio show to start.
Right. You get the impression too that he always calls at the same time.
Yeah.
They go into Manhattan, finally find a parking space, and he says a good line, or they pay for parking, and it's a funny line where he says,
Worse than a hospital.
which is where he works. I thought that was funny.
And him struggling to find parking, that's also sort of telling that, like, this is really him out of his elements.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Manhattan, 11 p.m., Friday night.
No way.
No parking.
No way.
Like, I've been to Manhattan once in my life, and I can already tell you that there's no way you're going to find parking.
Yeah. They were lucky to find a garage that had a space. But eventually they go in, and it's a strip club. I haven't seen it.
Titties around.
Yeah, and like just grinding thongs.
VIP lounges.
Yeah. So that's where our Quantrell is hanging out, and I liked this scene how they were lit. Did you notice this? How Patton Oswalt and his friend are lit in blue and red, like the Giants colors.
Oh no, I didn't know the connection.
Yeah, the whole time they're staring at him. He and his like entourage, Quantrell, are all lit really bright.
Yeah.
But then when it cuts to Patton and his friend, they're really moody, blue in the back, red in the front, a la American Anthem, and they
second callback on that.
It's just I was caught myself thinking about it a lot, and it continues until later when he gets beat up by the guy.
Okay.
Where Quantrell is still filmed like completely lit,
okay,
but Patton is still on that blue and red somehow. I don't know how they did that, and I'm interpreting that as like Paul from Staten Island, Patton Oswalt, is the actual like spirit of being a fan and like actually represents football and like things more so than Quantrell, who's actually playing the game, does.
Okay.
I don't know. I was sort of searching for an answer there. Because he's pretty innocent. I mean, it's innocent what he's doing, and he gets beat up for it. He's just kind of, I guess he was following them, but it's like just so he can say hi.
Well, there's a scene where Quantrell goes to the bathroom, Patton follows him, and Quantrell walks out of the stall, and he rubs his nose. So I think the implication is that he was like doing coke in there.
I think that's why they went on that stop off before too. They went and got the drugs.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe the lighting is just, the bright white lighting is sort of a reflection of how they idolize him. Sure. That this sort of bright white angelic lighting to the guy that is actually like, maybe they caught him in a bad night, but it seems like kind of a douchebag.
Yeah.
So
I mean, fame will do that, right?
Maybe.
We're not
maybe
yet.
One day we'll know.
Well, I can't wait to beat up our biggest fan. So anyway, he gets beat up. He's in the hospital. He's unconscious for 3 days.
And it sort of provides like a nice little existential crisis.
Yeah.
He's beaten up by his idol, and his fanaticism for the team and for the player outweighs his desire for justice or restitution.
Yeah.
Even though everyone else around him sees that clearly a wrong has happened.
Yeah.
And he tries to just go on as if it didn't happen, even though, his actions are directly resulting in the team that he loves so dearly being hurt.
Yeah. And it's funny because it goes through a whole thing with a detective and him being really depressed. And finally, at some point, when like the charges get dropped because he won't cooperate with the police, there's that scene of him reading the paper that says like, "Oh, Quantrell's back to starting."
Yeah.
And he's like, you see him smile and he's happy and he's like, "Oh, good, everything's back on track." But then immediately right after, he has like brain problems. Like, it's like it reminds you that like this guy beat you up and you were unconscious for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny that he's willing to overlook all of that brain damage, for crying out loud, because he just wants to go back to, wants it all to go back and have the team be winning again. And
yeah, it's more important for him for the team to win than for restitution to be paid.
Yeah. Have you ever met somebody that you kind of like idolized or looked up to, and then they turned out to be an asshole?
I met Rufus Wainwright once,
Uh-huh.
and he was a big diva. One of the reps from whatever record label that he was on at the time. We were like hosting a meet and greet after a show at the Triple Door.
Okay.
But he pretended to lose his voice so that he wouldn't have to talk to any of the people that he was meeting.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought that was really... I don't know. You know, Elton John would never do that. Elton John would be fucking there for the fans.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're a celebrity, like, the fans are what make you. And especially, like, at a meet and greet, like, no, you gotta, like, tough it up for this event.
Yeah.
So, I was definitely kind of let down. I was like,
No.
that's such a prissy thing to do. That's such a moody, I'm a big star thing to do. And, yeah, I definitely didn't care for that.
Yeah. It's funny how, because his idol becomes kind of humanized in a way, like getting to talk to him and be there, he, like, Patton Oswalt kind of rejects his own humanity because, you know, he's like, everyone's trying to get him to defend himself and be like, this guy gave you brain damage, and he rejects it kind of outright. He's like, no, this is more important. Like, the giants are more important. I just want to go back to my small little life, you know? It's like, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it must be an extra insult to injury when he wakes up from the beatdown to find out that the Giants lost miserably to the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that's his first concern, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, not only am I in the hospital and fucked up, but like my actions caused the Giants to lose because Quantrell couldn't play, blah, blah, blah. So like in his world, that's just awful. It's like the worst of the worst things that could have happened.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, there's a big depression montage. He's really depressed. And
You want to know what depressed me?
Yes.
When he orders a Coke and puts a spoonful of sugar on the ice and then pours the Coke on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to just vomit on the screen. I can't drink Coke normally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you give me a regular Coke, I got like 3-4 sips. I'm like, it's too sugary, take it away.
Yeah.
So the idea that he needs it more sugary... And I think that kind of speaks to like the stunted masculinity of his character too. Like, he is just, you know, almost prepubescent about his wants in life.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that would taste like.
I mean, in his bedroom, he's got a poster that's very sort of pinup type poster.
Yeah, and they kind of accentuate that too. There's like definitely one or two shots that's like lingering on his butt and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember, you know, right after, like, I don't know if this is true for girls, but like with most boys that I know, you hit puberty and you kind of threw yourself into like a hobby or nerddom or something until you had sex, and then suddenly like you started doing other things.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember, you know, I would obsess with like Star Wars and Dragon Ball Z from like 12 to like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Like that was like my hardcore most nerddom years. And then like I get my V card punched and suddenly like I care about other things.
I definitely get the impression that he is still a virgin.
Yeah.
This character.
He seems sort of resigned to it.
Yeah. Like, not upset about it. Again, like,
No.
he's okay with his life.
But that level of nerddom, like, reminds me of just, like, that, like, right middle of puberty.
Yeah, never grew up.
Boys. Yeah.
Ugh.
And even, like, the way that his mom scolds him is sort of, like, you know, a conservative mother catching, like, her son, like, use tissues for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely like reeks of that, like, you know, how could you, like, she's clutching her pearls at the thought of it and stuff like that.
Well, I get it. Like, I mean, whenever I go and visit my parents for more than a certain amount of time, I kind of turn into my teenage self again.
Yeah.
And so
definitely.
if you never left,
yeah,
you're just gonna and they'll stay in that role too.
So last time that I stayed with my mother for like an extended period of time, it was a couple of years ago, and it was during a big snowstorm. And she lived really close to where I worked, so I was just staying with her for a couple of days, so I could walk to work really easily.
Sure.
And yeah, and when I say a couple of days, I mean like 2 days, 1 night. And it was because that exact same thing happened. It's like, first night, like I went over and like she made me dinner and it was all nice and pleasant. We watched a movie, and then like by the end of that, like, or near like the end of that first night, like I could feel myself becoming more like a kid. Like,
yeah,
I was just like sitting like in a chair and being like, Mom, Mom, can you give me a beer?
Yeah. So just imagine doing that all the way till you're 36.
I mean, I'm quiet. I don't understand. Like, when I was 18, I was out of there. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
me too.
just could not wait.
I was ready to move out. But I guess some people are different.
Yeah. But their relationship is just so contentious. Like,
oh, yeah.
I feel like they both... Well, she wants it, but he just doesn't seem to.
Yeah, it probably is like a convenient plot device, because when he finally does kind of... it seems like he's snapped, is when he's like... calling into the radio show, and he's trying to make a big... And he's calling in on a different day than he normally does, because he's trying to clear up this whole situation with the lawsuit that his brother brought against Quantrill for him, and da-da-da-da. And he's on the show, and he's talking, and his mom just, like, can't take it, because she has to get up early to get her corns removed. Yeah. And so she picks up the phone while he's talking to the radio.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's about the most embarrassing thing that could happen to him, you know? So it's like, that is... It needed to be.
And that's like
her.
in his safe space too. Like,
yeah.
That's like the one time that like he gets to feel like a king.
Yeah.
Is when he's like calling in on that radio show.
Right. And he's like making a big announcement, you know, like.
Yeah.
And she just, like, you need that to push him into the final just act of whatever it is.
So emasculated.
Yeah. It's really.
Like, not only
really
is it
depressing.
in his safe space, but it's like as he's like confronting his nemesis.
Yeah, and then because she's on the phone, he curses, and the radio host turns on him too. Basically, he's like,
Whoa, no F-bombs, dude. You know that. I gotta let you go.
His voice was just, blah. I can't imagine listening to that guy talk.
Standard Wolfman Jack ripoff.
So, he flips and buys a gun.
Yeah.
With the intent of murdering his nemesis, Philadelphia Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's just as big a loser as
yeah, I get the idea
Paul,
that...
we find out.
I get the idea that Phil at least sort of has a wider social network.
Sure. I mean, I guess he goes out to see shows at places that aren't...
Yeah, he goes to, like, bars and, like, seems to have... At least
he has several radio shows he calls into.
Yeah, they do mention that. But it was also just the way that he was sort of social with Patton Oswalt before he knew who Patton was.
Right.
Kind of shows that he has, like, a semblance of, you know, regular human interactive skills.
Yeah, good point. But so he finds him at this bar, and, like, it's the big game, the Eagles versus the Giants. And Patton's dressed up as an Eagles fan. Yeah. And he can't, when they lose, the Giants lose, he can't bring himself to chant with the rest of the bar, Giants suck. Yeah. Did you notice that? Like, everybody else is doing it, and he just can't. So
I've been in many a bar where chanting starts happening. Never have they been able to maintain a rhythm for as long as they did. I mean, I'm sure you've been in a bar where they start chanting stuff. You got like 5-6 chants before it breaks apart.
Falls apart pretty quick.
This went on for minutes. Yeah. There was even like a round because...
that's right, yeah.
Some people were just chanting suck, suck, sucks, while other people were going, Giants suck, Giants suck.
Yeah. I mean, that, everyone around you chanting that on top of your mom's corns, like... Yeah, it really looks after being really depressed because your idol beat you up. Like, you're gonna want to take it out on someone.
You're in a bad spot, yeah.
So yeah, he follows Phil into the bathroom, shoots him. with paint.
Spoiler alerts.
The first time I saw this movie, I had no idea that was coming.
Go for it.
Well, I think the movie, it hinges on Patton Oswalt's performance and you being empathetic to it, and it hinges on this final moment. Because if it doesn't work for you and make you smile, then, like, the whole thing is for nothing, you know? Like, it basically, the script, like, he digs a hole for Patton that's super, super deep and makes it seem like, yeah, this man could commit murder.
Yeah.
Over this. Because he's crazy, a fanatic, if you will. But turns out he's just... he just loves those giants.
He's just a mischief maker.
I like it. I mean, it makes me really happy.
It's okay. I feel like the darkness... It's the one time in the movie where I feel like it's over-directed. I don't want to say over-directed, but nothing else really feels directed in the movie. Like, everything else feels very natural, you know, very just, like, caught unawares. And this is the one time where I feel like the director really steps his hand in and is like, this is a work. Like, this is you know, my opus. And then to, like, have it sort of step back, like, the director is pushing everything in this one direction and step back. I feel like it's a little bit just of a trick from the director, like
manipulative.
Yeah, that doesn't really fit in with the rest of the movie as much. Maybe that's just the way that like I interpreted it this time, because I don't know if I felt that way the first time I saw this. But for that part, because it's not the ending. If that's where the movie ended, was like him running out of the bar and like getting caught. If the movie ended there, I would not like the ending. But it's sort of redeemed by like the very, very end.
Yeah, because it
brings the tone back to where it was before.
Right. And
for me, he doesn't seem to really regret it that much.
Yeah, it's like he's
locked away during the off season.
Yeah. Which made me wonder, what do they do during the off season anyway?
Yeah.
But he's not unchanged. Like, this is kind of the first time where he's standing up for himself in a way. And so to do it in a way that's kind of funny, I don't know. I liked it. I feel like this is a really dark, kind of heavy movie. There are some laughable moments, but then to have it all end with that kind of with a joke. It makes it hard to categorize, I guess. So
the DVD box for this has some really misleading aspects to it. Like, it shows it, like, the cover is, like, Patton Oswalt, like, smiling, like, at a game, which he's never really, like, at a game ever. But it makes it look like it's a comedy, which, I mean, there are comedic elements to this, but it is a dark comedy.
Yeah.
And the DVD cover makes it look kind of like bright and funny and blah blah blah. And then
big fan.
Well, yeah, on the back, it's like the IndieWire review says like a genuine crowd pleaser. I'm like, what did they watch? Not this movie,
man. Because I feel, and I'm not sure. I didn't watch the trailer today, but I feel like I remember when this movie came out. Can't remember if I was reading about it or watching the trailer for it. Marketing it as like a dark, suspenseful, like sports thriller. Yeah, you know. So it's like
it'd be hard because you put Patton Oswalt on it. He's a comedian. You think it's gonna be funny. This came out a year or two after Ratatouille.
Yeah, around the same
time.
Yeah.
So you'd think that his fan base at the time was probably looking for something lighthearted and jovial, like Patton is.
Yeah.
And this goes back, and I've said this before on the podcast. I think if you are a comedic actor, like if you can play comedy successfly, that it's easier to turn around and do drama than it is if you're a dramatic actor and you have to turn around and do comedy.
Right.
This is like an example. I think Patton Oswalt made a fine dramatic actor.
Yeah, for sure.
He really. I
like his performance in this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he evokes empathy, even though he's like a little turd.
Yeah.
he sells it. He's very believable.
Anyway, overall, I guess my thing, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I like the twists at the end of this movie, and I like I've seen 100, indie dramas.
Yeah.
And so many of them are unremarkable in so many ways. And I feel like this one is at least a couple steps, at least one step, maybe a couple steps above those. Who is it is it like Jerry Seinfeld who's like, I realize the sports teams, people change all the time. So you're basically just rooting for shirts.
That is Seinfeld.
Okay.
And your impression is pretty remarkable.
Thank you. I've not been working on it at all. What do you want to follow this up with for season 3, episode 2?
I don't feel like we've done trash lately. Yes. So this isn't the trashiest of trash.
Okay.
But it definitely hints and suggests a trash. This is Russ Meyer's sexploitation classic, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill.
Oh man, I've never seen it.
It is real good. It's an early sexploitation film, probably really the first of its kind to make a splash the way that it did.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, he's just a fan of the female form, and we'll talk about it later, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Russ Meyer was actually very pro women's rights.
Oh, okay.
And I think it comes out in this movie a lot.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Was there any other things you wanted to address before we plug our junk?
No, not unless I'm forgetting something you're trying to subtly hint.
No. Follow us on Twitter
at X-Rated Movies.
We also have a Facebook page,
Rated X Movies.
A email address,
x.rated.movies@gmail.com.
All those are great ways to contact us. And according to the Facebook page, we respond within an hour. So
usually less.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And also, rate, review, subscribe on whatever service you're using. Tell your friends.
Yes.
Get them all listening.
Yes.
And thank you for listening.
Yes.
Listener. I kind of wish at this point we had a call-in now.
Call into our pre-recorded show.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll work on it.
Okay. Anyway. Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Next week.
week.
On X-Rated.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.